I know some people don't like these caps that steel run, and especially if you're running an aftermarket one, it's an extra problem. Um, they're not great, to be honest. This handle is just a cheapo aftermarket Amazon handle on the steel 026. And actually, it's surprisingly decent quality. I mean, it feels decent. I put as many factory parts in here as possible, but this is almost kind of the aftermarket princess. I did this chainsaw, and I used an aftermarket cylinder. I just put some gas in there. We ran it out before. We're going to see if it'll start. I'm going to try it with no choke, and then after that I'm going to have to choke it with my leg because this choke mechanism on this filter does not work. So let's see if it's going to start. I've been really happy with this saw lately. I feel like it's kind of broke in a little bit, and yeah, just kind of been happy with it overall. So I've been playing with the tune and getting a lot better at finding kind of where I want the saws to be for what I'm trying to do with the chain I have and all the above. And that's all thanks to Buck and Billy Ray and a few others out there. Anyway, let's see if she'll start. Alright, we're going to choke it there with my leg. So this is the first chainsaw I've ever ported, and like I said, it's an aftermarket cylinder, and I'm actually really happy with it now that I finally got the tune down. And I just took some time to deal with it. The other day I spent hours just kind of digging saws and wood and really playing with them, and it's starting to click a little bit. So each time I go over every saw again. But anyway, that's the 026, first one I ported. Aftermarket cylinder. I recommend if you guys try it, do it on an aftermarket cylinder first. If you watched before, I've actually made one error when I did port this chainsaw. Well, actually I ported it and it all went well. I put the saw together and I ran it for a while, and then when I was tuning it, at some point along that process I got an air leak from one of the crank seals, and I just kind of let it sit for a while and just didn't really mess with it. To be honest, I was like slightly discouraged. I don't know if that ever happens to you on a saw, and I just moved on to something else at that point. Anyway, when I got back and replaced the crank seal, I did a good job and got it out and was able to fix it. But when I did that, I actually didn't clean the crankcase properly afterwards, and I think a little piece of shrapnel or whatever from the seal, you know, because I was pretty destructive on it. It was not the easiest seal to get out. And I just didn't really think about it. I got a little excited, wanted to put it all back together. And so I have one score in the piston on here. I haven't checked the compression, but it does feel, I mean, it feels good. And you can see right now, it actually rips really, you know, to me, pretty good. And it does have a round tooth chain on here. It's got like a semi-chisel, kind of a safety chain. So it is a 3/8 low profile. One day I'll put a 3/8 regular pitch on there, and or 3/8 standard, and we'll see what the difference is. I would really like to try this chainsaw on a 325. But anyway, this saw is not why I'm here today. Today I stopped off. There was a lot of garage sales going on in my area, and I went to this really big sale, and they had a lot of really interesting stuff. And so I asked the guy, I said, hey, do you have any old chainsaws? There was so much stuff, and there were so many people. You know, this is a holiday weekend, and you know, you live on the Oregon coast, right on the beach, and there's a lot of people down here. And so I just said, hey, do you have any old chainsaws? And he goes, no, but pointed me at like a customer or somebody else who was there, maybe a friend or a helper or something. I'm not really sure. But the guy goes, yeah, follow me, I have some. And anyway, we cross Highway 101, which is pretty hectic this time of year, and the worst place you could think of. And we go to his house, and no joke, his house it's huge. There's firewood out front everywhere. He sells it off the side of the road. This guy is such a character. We go to his house, and inside of it is, I don't want to call it like a hoard. I would like to say like a collection of stuff that's been built up over at least 50 years and untouched. And I guess it's his mom's place. I'm not really sure what it is. He was older than me. And he goes, I got a couple of home lights in the back you might be interested in. So I said, well, 100%, I would like to go take a look. And the first saw he presented me was this one here, which says Home Light XL12. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's an XL12, it should not have an oiler here, right? The oiler should be down here on an XL12. So that makes me think this is an automatic, or a Super XL automatic. But anyway, this is the first one. You can see the recoils here. And according to this guy, I got a bunch of saws from him. And according to this guy, they all run, except something happened, you know. I wasn't able to pull and check for compression or anything. But I got these saws at such a great deal that, you know, it was worth it at that point. Anyway, this is the condition of it. It has, I guess, this muffler guard. I don't know. I don't really see. The few that I haven't had it. The chain's actually decent. It looks like it was sharpened a couple times, and the rakers were knocked down once. So I always find when the rakers are knocked down once, it's a good sign for a chainsaw. Makes me think that somebody actually knew what they were doing. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe they spent a lot of time on it. I'm not really sure. Maybe we can get the recoil real quick, and we'll see if there's some compression, and maybe actually just try to fire it up. But anyway, it says XL12. I'm pretty sure it's a Super XL automatic. There are some guys out there, some of these younger guys, they know so much about these saws. So much more than I do. And then here's another one here that came with the group. And this one says XL12, Home Light XL12. And it has, anyway, it has the oiler down here. So, maybe I'm just getting them backwards, I'm not really sure. But as I remember it, yeah, okay, here, see? So this side is different, actually, okay. One side says XL12, and the other side says Super XL Automatic. I bet you the starter cover has been swapped out. I don't know why they're both jammed up. Anyway, the XL12 seems to be in semi-decent condition. There is some corrosion and stuff like that. The starter is just completely jammed, so maybe we'll be able to get this one free real quick and give it a pull or two. Yeah, but anyway, he goes, I have these two home lights, and of course I go over there, and when we were going through this house, it's like a maze. There's like 19 doors. I'm not kidding you. We went through a door over. It's been a place that had remodels probably for the last, 100 years or something. It's just all over the place, and none of it, definitely, I can guarantee you, none of it was permitted. But anyway, I find these two on the back, and I make him an offer of $20 for the pair, because I'm not going to pay a lot for these in this condition. I can't tell if they have compression. they're good to have around for parts. So I offered him $20 for the pair of these two, and he kind of, I don't know, he kind of like kept bringing up that he had more stuff, and so I asked about the saws, and these are the only two available. And then after I made a deal for the $20 for the pair, um, he goes, "Well, I have other saws," and I looked back on the shelf, and I saw Husqvarna, and I actually like Husqvarna, even though there's none of them really in my collection. Um, I've had a few of them; they've always been really good to me, but I've actually sold all the Husqvarnas I've had. One of them I sold to my son. It was a 41 Rancher, and no, I don't even know if they called them Ranchers back then, but it was just a Husqvarna 41, which actually was not too bad of a little saw. I finally got it running after it had so many air leaks, and if you have a Husqvarna with an air leak, obviously check the boot, the intake boot, because I feel like that little small boot that's in there, there's a big one and a small one. That small one for the impulse line, I have a feeling fails a lot. It just seems like that's kind of an issue. I don't have many Husqvarnas overall, though. I haven't really messed with them much. It does have a steel case, and half the body is steel, so it's pretty nice. I had no idea exactly what it is. I don't know my Husqvarnas well, and I don't know a lot of them. I like the clips here on the, I guess, I don't know, I guess it's kind of a lower back. But this one is a 261. So I haven't tried to start this or anything. It does have a decompression valve. Compression feels, honest, it feels a little bit light, but I'm not sure. So I think I'll just rinse the tank, and maybe it'll start. I'm not even sure. I have no clue. Anyway, the chain actually felt decent on this one. I can tell it's been sharpened. It's a little dull, like maybe there's no way you can see that. Guarantee somebody hit a rock on one of those. And anyway, yeah, I'll throw some gas in there right now. We'll see if this one will fire up. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see what happens. I get a lot of these chainsaws, and sometimes I have no idea what they put in here. It's different colors. I've found one of them I got for free. It was an older Poulan that I got from a friend, and he tried to mix modern engine oil in with the gas, and it just didn't really mix well and clogged it all up. And I found so many crazy things. And I've also found chainsaws that have been straight gassed, and it was kind of obvious. Anyway, we'll get some fuel in there. We'll rinse out the tank, and we'll see if it my Husky, my only Husky currently in my collection, the only Husqvarna I have, will start. Appreciate everybody here watching. It's actually got some really nice messages and really nice words of support from the community in general, and just a lot of nice people. Like, I've actually been so surprised, and my whole thing is to just be chill, be cool, be nice to everybody, have a good time, stay safe. Number one, man. You can see my hands are a little dirty today. I didn't even have time to take a shower. I just kind of I got excited and wanted to show these saws. I'm all sappy today. I've been working with trees lately, and everybody's been really cool. And one of the coolest things about it is when you take down a big tree and the climber, I'm not a climber yet. I'm still a groundie, but I'm learning very, very fast. I take it very serious. And anyway, you watch a climber take a big top out of a tree, somebody you like and trust and look forward to, and you care about. You care about their safety, So you're holding ropes and you're running through, the blocks. It's a lot of pressure because you care about these people so much. And when that tree comes down and it's on the ground safely, in the right spot, there's nothing better than that. I painted $100,000, cars, $200,000 brand new Corvette C8s, custom stripes. Have done some crazy work, high end, high pressure. But there is nothing like a big top coming out of a tree, and the climber's safe, and the groundies are safe. There's just nothing better than that. I'm gonna rinse this out. I don't know why I put so much in there, and it looked like I got a little bit of a leak somewhere. I'm gonna say that that is not a good sign for will it run. So we're not even gonna rinse this one out. We're just gonna go full straight reckless style, and we're just gonna see if it starts. And if that doesn't work, we'll at least prime it and see if it goes from there. So shows you how little I know about Husqvarna because I don't even know how to choke it. I thought it was a pull style. Okay, cool. That's weird. It's like a pull slash rocker. And I don't see throttle lock on here. Maybe this one does a throttle lock on its own. I don't know. God, the compression feels a little light. I have very low confidence in this chainsaw right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh, whoa. That actually surprised me. I swear I did not think I'd get anything out of this. Look at that thing, it's leaking all over me. We're going for it anyway. Whew. Okay, she wants to run. I wish I could have held on to it and laid off the throttle. You can tell I'm winded. It's been a long day. I got another couple saws I want to show you though. We'll let that one sit for 1 second. Yeah, either I'm getting old or I'm just tired from the day. It's been a long few days. We did a job the other day and we took out, I don't know, had to have been 100 trees. A lot of them were small, and it was one of the first opportunities I got that the boss kind of let me go in and fall some trees on my own, so that was really nice, and got a lot more responsibilities. So anyway, definitely tired. But I still highly recommend tree work. We're gonna see if this will start up one more time. If it doesn't, we're gonna go on to the next chainsaw and we'll revisit this because it wants to go. Also let me know if you think that's a sign of low compression, the way that hard start. I think I will probably rebuild this saw. I like it for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. I like this chainsaw. I will rebuild it hopefully with as much factory parts as possible, but if I gotta go aftermarket, I'm okay. I'm gonna run this one. I'm really liking it. So anyway, I'm gonna try to start it again. It's heavier than it looks. I'm also probably weaker than I imagine. One of the biggest differences working with trees is, I guarantee you this is because I'm green. I doubt the experienced guy's arms look like this. Um, as far as just not so much the sap, just all the cuts. Um, I will get better at that. But it's so warm out there; it's hard to wear long sleeve. Um, I got another saw too. I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna show it to you guys real quick. Okay, don't get too excited. Everybody keep your pants on. We're busting out another cheap Poulan. I'm kind of liking these. I don't know why. I'm going to have a lot of fun with them. I'm going to do videos about cheap entry-level projects for fun. I'm going to burn a few of these up too. I'm going to put them to the test. I know they're not great. I'm going to see what I can do and hopefully use them as a learning experience as I start to go forward with some of the nicer stuff. So anyway, this is one of those saws that kind of found me. And I still have some more stuff I want to show you from that sale where I met that very interesting guy. But this is going to come into play here real quick. Anyway, this is one of the chainsaws that found me. I don't know if you guys have those. Where there's not a lot of chainsaw people, at least that I know. So when you are a chainsaw person, people like to ask you about them, and whatever reason, now they go, oh, I've got one in my garage. So this one found me free, which makes me happy. It actually has solid compression for one of these little Poulons. These things are generally, obviously, not great. And I got it with, here, let me show you what it came with actually. Now I know everybody has seen these cases before. They're awesome. Got a new chain, got the paperwork. Only thing I know is that it didn't run. So, or actually, it didn't even say didn't run. All they said was didn't work. So, we'll throw some fuel in there real quick, which it has in there. And it smells like rubber cement from like, I don't know, from like middle school, or sorry, preschool or something like that. Like something you'd used in like elementary school. Yeah, definitely. I know that smell. I was one of those kids. I am going to dump this in the fire pit real quick. And, or actually, I have a little fuel container now. So I'm going to dump this in my little storage container. And then we're going to put some fresh fuel in there and see what happens. Now, I know most of you guys out there know or have been into this longer than I have. But if you're new, one of the things too, when you're emptying out these tanks, you're going to flush it, put new fuel in there, just push the primer bulb a few times. Get the rest of it out of there. Don't want to put too much in there. I don't have super high hopes for this saw. The gentleman that gave it to me, I felt like was competent enough to have put fresh fuel in there to make sure that wasn't the issue. So we're gonna see. Probably has dirty carburetor, like almost all of these. Bad fuel lines, like so many of them. And this is a 3816. I know this is not a great saw, but bear with me. See what happens. So we choke on, primer ball like 20 times, fresh gas, brake off. Which works but doesn't feel very confident. that sounds like a working chainsaw to me. Chain looks like it's never been sharpened. Can really not use that much, but I guarantee you it's probably dull. Choke, I'm gonna go halfway. These Poulons, that keeps the throttle lock on also. Well, I'm not going to push that one too hard. I'm going to clean this up. And of course, I'm going to port this one to the max and see how hard I can push it. The other wild thing actually got going again, which was really cool. And that was actually starting to be a lot of fun. Anyway, let me set this one down and show you the most interesting one. All right, bear yourselves for this bad boy. Here we go. I do not know what it is exactly. It's very interesting. It's got one of these. I actually have a 1978 Toyota that has the same the same air cleaner. It's an old school one. It's got the old saw logo. Some bucking spikes that look modern. Missing the clutch cover. Does have a decent exhaust. I didn't know these had an oil adjuster right here. I'm assuming this is an 041. Is that what that is, guys? Also, I'm assuming that's an original sticker, a Farm Boss. Kind of cool. No cap. And no joke. This saw was a running saw also. Every saw he has is a running saw. Really cool, though. When we were going through his house, it's really interesting. And he kept busting out another saw and another saw. And then he goes, oh, I've got 3 more that you might be interested after I bought all these ones. Almost like he was like agging me, like kind of like trying to get me to get like pay top dollar, but I only paid $10 a piece. I'm probably crazy for even paying that much, if I'm honest. But anyway, he's like, I got more, and so he goes, I have a steel 028, and that is actually something I'm very interested. It's a super. For whatever reason, he could not produce the steel 028 and told me to come back. So I am going to go back over there, and then I guess he has 2 028s. I think one's a Farm Boss or a Wood Boss or whatever their other lower one was, and the other one was a Super. Both of those he, like I said, he just couldn't come up with, but he says he has them, and he'll have them out, and I'm going to swing by his place tomorrow. I did not negotiate any kind of price on 028s. I'm just going to look at the condition and see what it is. And he also had like an Echo 560, which I guess is his kind of current fiberwood saw, which seemed decent, but definitely needed a good chain sharpening. And I have a feeling he runs his saws really hard because I think he runs dull chains on a regular basis. Probably hence all the burnt up saws I've got from the gentleman already. And he had another Poulon, and he had a pile of chains and a stack of bars. I didn't have time to go through all this stuff. I'll bring some cash and see what he has. I'm really hoping. I sold an 028 one time. I don't sell vintage stuff. I regret it. Still regret it. It was a great chainsaw. I didn't know as much about them as I do now. And build it. Yeah. I don't know if you have seen the best feature yet. It has a clutch pedal on the air cleaner, because of course, why would you not have a clutch pedal? I didn't think about putting a clutch pedal on the air cleaner. Why I've never put a clutch pedal on the air cleaner shocks me. It's stylish. I mean, it's durable. It's just something special. You know, you can grate cheese, I'm sure, like with it. Also, so I have not even looked at these saws. I'm actually checking these out completely live. I have not done any preparation, obviously. I don't know if you can see what's going on in here. Can you see that? I love it. and I hate it. But you can't make that up. You really can't. I mean, that is a real hardcore find. Anyway, the fuel line is there. It's disconnected. It pulls nicely. The starter actually feels good. And listen, it really doesn't sound that bad. You know, let me grab a plug. I'm going to put a plug in this thing real quick. And we're just for compression. Let's just see. Man, when, you know, he told me, he said all these run. So far, the Husqvarna tried to run. This one, we're going to need to put a plug in there real quick. This is a garbage plug, actually. Fortunately. God, that'd be crazy if this thing started or has good compression. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down. We are going to try to start the 160, or sorry, the 261 again. Just going to let it sit. I feel like I've made some errors. I didn't expect this saw to pull fuel at all. Anyway, I'm going to go tighten this down real quick, and we're just going to give it a pull and see what happens. You know, I've been working on engines and cars and stuff like that for a long time, and one mistake I started to see, and I feel like I'm an old guy, although I'm probably not that bad. I don't know. Anyway, one of the mistakes I started seeing when aluminum engine heads started becoming a regular, people would over torque the spark plug and strip it out. And so there were cars like Subarus and Nissans and Fords. Ford had a really bad issue with it. I feel like it was the Triton engine. They would, you know, people would strip them out, and the Fords would just straight blow the spark plug right out of the head. So you know that was a common repair we do on them. So keep in mind, your spark plugs don't need to be that tight, and most of you, I'm sure, know that already. This is a completely burnt, fouled out plug. I'm just gonna put the spark. Just gonna put the wire back on there just because. Maybe we should just pour some fuel down the carburetor on this one just for fun. Oh, it's got good compression. Oh, it's got really good compression. Man, I don't know if I want to screw with this one too much. I might actually clean that one out and take a look at the piston and cylinder before I start reefing on this one, and I would hate to ruin it. I mean, that is some good. That's good compression. You can feel it too. The starter, even without the plug, the starter felt great. Maybe we'll pull this clutch pedal. Just take a quick peek inside of the carburetor. Maybe we'll hook up. It looks like it needs an impulse line. I'm assuming from here to, probably can't see that. I don't know. I'm not very familiar with this saw. Yeah, that's definitely going to need an impulse line before it's going to pull any kind of fuel. I'm so curious though. This clutch pedal thing, I don't know. You know, please tell me what you think. Should I bring it back? Or should I just run this bad boy with the clutch cover and call it a day? You know? Just like this, like an old Chevy Nova. You know, and if you guys are old enough, or if you have older trucks, some of you guys probably do have some of those old Chevys. The air cleaner, you can flip it around and it'll still hold the filter down, but it'll leave this big gap. And that big gap, so it'll still filter all the air, but that big gap will bypass all the 80s restriction stuff that there was 80s and 90s pickups had, especially the California stuff. Let me grab some tools here. We're going to go ahead and pull the clutch pedal. I will put it back on, don't worry, and I'm just going to dump a little bit of gas in there, and I am kind of curious because How nice would that be if you could clean? I mean, it looks like it would clean up pretty decent. Handle seems solid. I don't see any major breaks. I could perhaps make this a runner. Also, I'll check in the comments. I think that's a 440, or sorry, an 041. I don't know. I'm assuming that's what it is. Oh, I lost a screw from my clutch pedal. That's great. That's great. I don't even know how I'm going to shift the gears. That's ridiculous. All right, well, I decided to grab the most ridiculous screwdriver I have because it was the only one I could find. And you guys can make fun of me for the snap-on, that's okay. It's definitely an overpriced screwdriver, though. You know, and as far as tools, so I have every tool I've ever had. I've been lucky enough, with the exception of some sockets and some ratchets and some stuff that broke over the years. I bought Craftsman stuff when I was really young, and like 16, 17, and I still have that same set of tools today. I still wrench on them and use them. And when I became a technician, though, in a shop, I started switching, you know, all my ratchets. The sockets were not much of a big deal, but all my ratchets and stuff like that, I did go to Snap-on because their ratchets were significantly better. And I'm sure there's other companies that Matco and Mac and all these other guys, you know. But man, I started off with Stanley and Walmart tools, and you know, Craftsman stuff that I would get at a Sears. I don't even know if they have anymore. You know, see, this is why I bought a big screwdriver, because I think the way you remove a clutch pedal from a chainsaw is you pry it off. I think trying to unscrew it was a oh, sorry, never mind. It's a swing door feature. Duh, I should have known. I do not know who had this saw before me. Do you love this or hate this? Does this make you smile or what? What is this? What is this? I don't know what this is. I honestly, and not only, I really hope this shows. I have to try to check and see if this is going to show on the camera or not. What is this? It was like done with a can opener. If a piece of this metal has not fallen inside this carburetor and destroyed this thing yet, how? I just don't understand. I'm gonna pour some gas in there. We're gonna see what happens. But yeah, grab my little squirty bottle. Honestly, you can't make this up. This is fun. This is why when I go to a garage sale, and I highly advise that you do this. I got this from my old friend, and my old friend, let's just say he made his money unconventionally, like a lot of young people who don't know. Hustler, an unconventional hustler. One of his things, though, was he was always going to garage sales, and he actually helped me get my Snap-on collection started by he always told me, and he always did this every time. We used to go to garage sales all the time. And he would go through every drawer of every box of every single thing at almost every sale. And I thought, man, why would you do that? Like, sometimes we'd be at these sales that seem almost ridiculous. You know, I can go in 2 seconds. Is there a chainsaw? Is there a pile of tools? What is there, you know? Certain things I was looking for, you know, gold or whatever. And he would go through these boxes and he would find like a Rolex watch, buy the whole box for like $3 and end up with some crazy thing. So he ended up, I really learned how to go garage sailing with him. So when I got into eBay, I used to sell on eBay a lot. And I learned to just go through every single thing. And when you're done and you've gone through the entire sale, you just go to the garage owner and you talk to them nicely, like, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. They ask you, hey, you finding, you know, they often ask you finding what you're looking for, all these types of things. And then you go, do you have any chainsaws? Do you have any whatever? And you'd be surprised what you will find that people didn't think had value. None of these chainsaws here today were listed for sale. None of them were at the garage sale. I just asked, did he have any chainsaws in the back? Anyway, I'll stop blabbering here. I'm going to go ahead and put fuel right down the shotgun hole. I guess. I don't even know what else you call it. It's my can is prematurely exploding fuel all over. My grass is not happy with me. It does not like these pine chips. It does not like my boots. And it definitely doesn't like all this oil and gasoline all over the place. There's no impulse line on here, so I don't think it's going to run. But I threw a little bit of fuel in there. There is a spark plug. Oh, let me close the clutch cover. How reckless of me. And if you're going to have a clutch pedal on top, you might as well use it. I mean, honest. Oh, I get it. Duh, I didn't even understand. This is it. It's a one-handed starting. It's innovation that, you know, you just really gotta, you just don't understand, you know. Anyway, switch on position. Hit the throttle a little bit just to let the fuel fall down through the flap. God, that feels good. That feels really good. I'm not even joking. It feels so smooth, and the competence of the starter is actually surprisingly good. Ooh, I don't know. Was that a little pop? Sounded like a pop. I'd like to throw a different plug in there. This plug was actually a foul plug. It was just the one sitting on the bench. I didn't anticipate actually trying to start it. So we're going to let it sit for a minute. And I'm actually out of new plugs. But I have like, well, I got a bunch of like crappy aftermarket ones. Let's see if the old leaky sieve Husqvarna will fire up here real quick. Be right back. All right. So far, like I said, I don't know what it is about this Husqvarna. I like it. And when I watch Buck and Billy Ray's videos, I love the way those 372s sound. I want a 372 so bad. I just I haven't found a good one yet. There we go. You know, it's funny because I have had 3 Husqvarnas, and the one thing they've all had in common is that the brake didn't work. Now, is that a thing, or is that just because I've had beat up old Huskies? I've always liked Husqvarna. My first experience with Husqvarna was actually a dirt bike, and it was like a Husqvarna 250, and I don't know what year it was. Probably, I felt like it was late 70s, probably, or like early 80s, and it had a really nice dome top head, and the top of the head was beautiful. The engine was beautiful. It was a 250, and I remember my buddy buying at the time a brand new 4-stroke Honda dirt bike. I think it was a 400 at the time, not a 450. I think they were a 400 at the time. This is a long time ago, you know, like early 2000s probably. And anyway, his aftermarket, or his like late 70s Husqvarna ripped so hard. That bike was so raw. The Honda, the 400, was more civilized, and it was a 4-stroke. So, I mean, I know there's a difference in there. But there was something about that Husky, man. That thing just ripped. And ever since then, I was a Husqvarna fan forever. The only reason I don't have them in my collection is they're not easy to find good ones. I've had better luck finding cheaper, decent steels than I have Husqvarnas. I do not know why. I think people who have a good Huskies, they just won't get rid of them because they last forever. Now I have had a couple of good ones, but you know, anyway. Um, Choke isn't gonna stay in. I'm pretty sure this saw seemed flooded, or it's perhaps just a little low on compression. So let's give it a shot. The 261 decompression valve. I'm not even gonna use it. Didn't even know it had one. Oh, that compression feels so light. Now, do you remember the difference? Look at that. Oh man, that's not passing a test. I'm gonna put a gauge on there, but I want to see if it runs. I have a funny feeling I'm rebuilding this saw no matter what, so just give it a try. I also kind of want to see if this chain's sharp. It's not very often do I get a saw that actually has a chain that somebody's has, you know, sharpened. So. You know, I should also learn. I don't know the best way to start a chainsaw that has low compression. I haven't really gone down that road. I have gone down the road of just warming it up with my with just sheer might. Maybe there's an easier way to do so. Kind of sounded like it wanted to pop though. So ignition's on. Don't see a throttle lock. Maybe there's like a push it back in. Maybe that does the throttle lock. You know, saw's been sitting quite some time. I like these pins. That's got to be low compression, right? There's no way. When you go fast, it feels better. Lately, I've been running a lot of different stuff lately, so we got new things coming to the channel. We got a 462. That's going to be in the lineup. I haven't had one of those in my hands for a while. Also a 500i. So the slightly upgraded 500i. I've been running that. I actually really like it. Other than I ran out of fuel, and it was like a kind of a pain to get started again. And it's fuel injected, and there's no choke or anything, so it's just kind of gonna either start or not. So anyway, and then yeah, 201, some other things coming soon. So okay, well, interesting. That filter is way better than some of the others of the era, that's for sure. Can you see that plug? It's about 100 years old. You know, recently, I forget what chainsaw I got. It was something really nice, so, and it did not run, and the guy had all these problems with it, and it used to run and everything, and all it was this was on, and my only repair was this. And when I did that, the whole saw came back to life. Put fresh gas in it, and it was a runner ever since. I forget which one that was. Now it's one of the first things I check because it was so simple, and I don't know what I spent a couple minutes doing something else, but I just do this now real quick. And I know the guy I got these from has worked on these chainsaws, because I'm assuming the two clutch covers are swapped around on the home lights over there, and that's the issue. This plug looks like crap. It's probably a bad idea. I'm gonna put gas down this hole, which I'm assuming gets me where I'm trying to go. I'm just gonna give it, yeah, that's a weird setup. I have not messed with this 261. I kind of like this little airbox thing though. It's kind of weird. Kind of reminds me of like a, I don't know what to think, to be honest. I'm gonna have to revisit this and take a closer look at it. And so I'm gonna pour a ton of fuel down there. I'm suspect the issue with this saw though is low compression, and I am actually surprised it even tried to run. I feel like if it will get going, I can get a little bit out of it and maybe even make a cut. But let's see if it's even gonna try. I'm gonna say no, but the 261. Also, please, I'll go through, or if you can leave a comment on the live video once it's uploaded. Let me know if it's worth dealing with this. I do not know very much about Husqvarna. Is the 261 even worth rebuilding? I'd like to have fun with it. I don't want to waste a ton of time. And I think saws of like the 266, I always thought were great. 261, I don't know as much. I'm assuming this is a homeowner saw, even though it does have a 1998. Like I said, let me know. I would love to build this saw up. I would love to possibly port it. I've been messing around with doing that kind of stuff lately and having a lot of fun. I'm so happy with the 026 now, the way it runs. It's so much more lively. And if you're a younger guy out there and you're having issues with your saw, man, just take the time to tune. Tuning chainsaws can be a humbling experience because, you know, it just takes time, and if you're working with the vintage stuff, you have to be a lot more careful. I don't know if it's necessarily careful, but some of the carburetors can be really touchy. Some of the diaphragms can get hard and like rotten and stuff like that, and so the adjustments are really touchy. So clean your carburetor, give it a good look inside. If you can't afford a rebuild kit or don't know where to get it, just take it apart, you know. And I've actually tried this, and tell me if this is bad or not, but I've had actually good luck. I used to work in a body shop, and when you would get really stiff leather, you can use a rubber. You could use a rubber conditioner, and that would actually soften it up, and it kind of swells it up a little bit, makes it much more pliable again. It's surprisingly industrial grade. It's surprising how well it works. And so on carburetor kits or saws, I did not want to invest to, because I do everything on low budget or medium budget. I don't know. It feels pretty low budget to me, to be honest. I find most everything really cheap. But anyway, I took that conditioner and I rubbed it into some of those older vintage, kind of some of the original pieces, and the rubber came back to life, and the saw ran great again. So it's about doing it. Sometimes you don't have, even sometimes it's not even about $20 or $30. It's where do I get it? Is it going to be the right one? Is the one on Amazon even going to match? Yeah, so just open your carburetor up, give it a quick look. If it all seems fine and the rubber seems pliable and you've cleaned out the little screen, you know, and the saw won't tune, you may have an air leak or something like that, but play around with it, you know. If you have a saw that isn't actually in good condition, you can actually mess with that a little bit. Mark where you have it and just play with it. There's no other way to learn it without actually doing it. So I would like to revisit the old, I need a nickname for this saw. I think it's an 041 with a clutch pedal for one-handed starting, just in case. Well, maybe not so much. I don't know how to think about that. You know, wouldn't that be great if that was the whole concept? The guy was like a one-handed guy, and he was just like trying. I don't want to smash that air cleaner down into it. I don't want to beat this thing up too much. We're gonna give it just a couple pulls. Gonna throw a touch of gas in there. You guys think I should just throw another plug in there real quick and just give it a quick fire and see if it even pops? I don't know. If, I might just give it just a quick plug. I mean, that'll only take a second to throw it in. The compression feels really good. I like this saw. I don't know why I've got great feelings about all these. I don't know so much about these two. They might have had harder days. I can tell somebody's been inside of here. Let me see if I have another plug here that'll fit into the my suspected 041 clutch top. Do you have an 041 clutch top? Doubt it. My parts bin is getting pretty dry. One of the cool things is when I worked at the body shop that I worked for a small mom and pop shop, and when the new shop came in, what they did is they essentially said throw out all the old products. So products that were not approved. I ended up with so much stuff from that place, and you know, I got a little distracted. As you know, I'm not the best. I don't know if I can get this one on here with this wrench. Oh, it doesn't want to fit in there real quick. Let me. I'm just gonna grab a different wrench right real quick. All right, let's see what happens. 041 clutch top. New plug. Well, I'm going to say this one's going to need to go to the bench, and we'll take a look at it from there. Let me go grab something else real quick. Okay, I just wanted to kind of confirm. So this is an XL12, as I understand it. Oiler in the back. This one says XL. Oiler on the top. So I'm assuming the starter cover is wrong. This one, Super XL automatic. Oiler in the back is the XL12. Pretty much guarantee they got those backwards. This one had some kind of powdery residue inside of it. I think it's just the case, and I rinsed it out a little bit, and it seemed a lot better, but I didn't do anything else. So I'm gonna give it a couple pulls and just kind of see what happens. If I can get the gas cap on there. Like I said, if you guys think about this Husqvarna 261, if it's worth my time, if it's worth a build, I would love to do it. Maybe there's upgrades, things I don't know about. The saw community has been really good about just being like having really helpful information. So choke, throttle, spark plug wires on, ignition is on. Let's just see if she pops. It's got decent compression. I think that one's going to need to see the bench. Man, yeah, I've got some really cool stuff coming. Actually, I'm on my way tomorrow, or sorry, Monday, sorry, it actually changed to Wednesday, and we are going to pick up something that I am actually really excited about, a steel that I'm really excited about to get over here, and I'm really looking forward to go out and shooting some content with the 500i, and there's just a lot more coming, a lot more changes, a lot more things happening. Um, I hope you guys can see this here. I don't know why that makes me smile every time. Um, it just does. So anyway, like I said, I've said it in the past. I I want to thank everybody. The saw community's been great. I just want to get people together as much as possible. Um, love to get some kind of thing going in on the Oregon coast. Just get some people together and say hi. You know. So if you have any cool stuff, and I would love to feature a saw. Every saw that has been in my videos has been my saw. So I would love to do something kind of like Jay Leno's Garage and take out somebody's nice vintage chainsaw. Be very careful, run it a little bit, talk about it a little bit, and I'd like to learn. So, and anybody, I'd love to do some kind of podcast or something like that. If anybody else likes to go live at the same time, I'm just interested in getting people together and getting more community. I feel like there's not enough of it like there used to be, and I remember. I just feel like community is kind of lost. So we all don't have to agree on everything, and matter of fact, it's a little better when people have different interests. It's kind of exciting. It adds a little flavor to it. I just want to have a good place for people to enjoy and talk about this stuff. And man, I want to see some of your guys' collections. So if you have a channel out there too, email me at cmoresaws, cmoresaws at gmail. Shoot me an email. I'm a little bit slow. I'll give you my number. I'd love to chat, talk on the phone, or if there's anything I can ever do to help anybody. I know there's a lot of people out here probably that watch this stream that know so much more about it than I do. If you have any good advice or comments or anything too, you can also just send me an email at Seymour Saws. Just reach out. So there's a lot of really cool guys out there that are they're building collections and getting a lot going. So I got some really exciting stuff coming. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I love y'all again.